to every single.
And here we go.
You want to be like? Sensitivity equals fucking poverty.
Insensitive Culture, the podcast. Check it out, homie.
Insensitive Culture, the podcast.
Network.
Yes.
What do we mean?
Are we switching it to the network instead of Asylum Studios?
Oh, I don't know. You were doing everything Insensitive Culture present, so I thought you meant that was the network.
Yeah, we can. I'm all right with that. I more so meant like social media. The Casual Nerds is the podcast, but Sensitive Culture is like the channel. But I'm okay with that being the channel / network / all that shit. Because silent, yeah.
At this point, it doesn't matter. We don't got nothing else to promote.
No, I know. But that's kind of the thing. So, like, for instance, Top 5 at 5. If we wanted to make that part of Insensitive Culture Presents, then we just drop those episodes. You know, the Top 5 at 5 clips on our page. And, you know, label it as Top 5 at 5, but everything is under the umbrella of Insensitive Culture, which.
Right.
Yeah. So that's why some things like my reactions and shit, sometimes, not necessarily the reactions. I think I put those as Casual Nerds too. But mainly I put Casual Nerds on the podcast, or, you know, like the podcast clips.
Yeah.
You know, so, and then Insensitive Culture does all that shit, but I don't know, whatever. We'll at some point we will get to a point where we go, okay, hey, let's lay this shit out and make sense of it all. But I think life has just been a little too hectic on all sides, so
For reals.
So we do what we can, you know.
What we really need to do, not that this needs to be part of the pre-show.
No.
But what we really need to do is, well, one, we need to clap. Let's just clap right now.
Yes, sir. 3, 2, 1.
What I need to do is get rid of this fucking pimple that just showed up on my nose like an hour ago.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
That's fucking.
You know what? You know what's weird?
The red-nosed reindeer over here.
The younger kids now do the pimple patches. I don't know which one I prefer. I don't know if I'm an OG at this point, so it's just like it is what it is. But I think it looks way dumber to have a pimple patch like on multiple spots of your face.
I don't even know what that is. It's like a sticker that covers your pimple.
It literally is. Yeah, it's like a little sticker, like a small ass bandage that they just put on there, and it's skin color. I've seen people with ones that have like designs and shit, but people, some people like they rage about it. And man, fuck all that.
If it works, I guess.
I mean, I guess, but now you're not fooling anybody. You have a fucking skin colored patch on your face. Like right now, instead of having that on your nose, you have this thing. Is that better? You know what I mean?
I don't know.
Like,
that's a good question. Is it better?
Is it better? I'm sure it does.
I mean, I guess
it's better.
Maybe a little better, right? Because like it's like, sure, I know you have a pimple in there, but I don't gotta look at it and all its crustiness.
Yeah, I guess.
Not that mine is crusty, but sometimes people be having some crusty ass pimples.
Those people need
they need a face patch.
Right. Do the face patch, do some makeup, like try to hide it as best as you can. Do something. God damn.
Right. What I was gonna say was that we need to get done, or what we should do, outline all of the things this summer and fall that are coming up, all the events, big events. Throw those on a little master calendar so we're pre-prepared. For instance, I
Oh
had
yeah,
no
yeah,
idea that there was even a thing called Teaser Con
I still don't even
that
know what
took
you're talking
place.
about. I missed that. I
Yeah,
saw the Star Wars Celebration thing.
yeah.
We're gonna talk about that.
There was like a Star Wars celebration, which I also found I was thrown off by because I thought Star Wars Celebration Day was May the 4th, but
Mm.
um, that's like another Star Wars Celebration Day, I guess, or a
Well,
more
no,
official one.
celebration is like an actual event.
Right. I
It
thought
wasn't
they
like
had an event
celebration
on May
day.
the 4th last year.
It probably lined up with May 4th, but who knows? What does May 4th land on this year? Where it's on a Sunday. I guess they could have made that work.
Mm. Yeah, they could have made a whole weekend of it. I don't know. Anyways, there's like all these things. CinemaCon always
We got to make it to that,
sneaks
man.
up on me. All of these kind of events, D23, they always tend to sneak up on me. Like I find out about them taking place either the week
Nah, you're right
before it
about that.
happens or like the
In the
day
moment.
after it started, and it's because something was released. So, anyways, let's. I think that's one of the best things. We could probably just ask Chatty to do that for us. Just lay out a quick calendar of all the upcoming movie, cinema, Hollywood related events, forums, expos that are happening over the next 6 months. And then the only thing with Chatty is then you got to go back and confirm that everything it just gave you is legit, because it could be like, yeah, on May 43rd, there's going to be a freaking
Sure.
mindset conference, and you're like, what the fuck is the mindset conference? And it's like, oh, I thought you liked that because you have a poster behind you that says mindset. It's
Yeah.
Chatty
I
be
get
weird sometimes. I love Chatty G, don't get me wrong. It helps me out a lot, but sometimes it just be bullshitting.
be on some shit.
Yeah, I be arguing with
It takes
with
unnecessary
him,
information
her.
and
Yeah,
adds context to that. Like,
yeah.
no, that's not what the fuck I asked for.
We're constantly at beef with each other, and it's always apologizing to me, like, "Oh, you're so right. My bad."
Yeah.
I mean, it's gotten a little snappy at me at times, like not necessarily mad at me, snappy,
Mhm.
but just like the way it responds is like, "Yo, my bad, dog." I'm like, "What the fuck you mean, my bad, dog? Like, you're not supposed to talk
Sure.
like that." The other day I said some shit. I think it was matter of fact when I told it, I was like, "Hey, by the way, um I've stopped," because I asked it something and it said yeah, and I gave it like daps for giving me the right answer, and it was like, yeah, that's glad that Chappie could be helpful to you or something like it did something where it referenced and called itself Chappie again, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
I was like, oh, you know what? I actually stopped calling you Chappie. I call you, I'm leaning more towards Chatty G now. And this motherfucker comes back like, ooh, I like that. It's like we ride or die homies. And I was like,
Mm,
pause on that, chat.
yeah,
No,
yeah.
stop.
It's like I don't know your ethnicity, but it seems like you're off on that. Now you're just trying to be
I was like,
down.
I don't know about ride or die, and I don't really know about the homies part, but we cool. And it was like, all right, yeah, I'm down with cool. He
Speaking
gave
of
me
that,
some shit. I was like, yo, y'all tripping over there. The
yeah, that
fucking
shit happened to me at work. I'm like, yeah, like I'm in line and I'm trying to get some lunch, right? It's like a little sub shop in my lobby.
Mhm.
And there's a dude, Philip Seymour Hoffman looking dude, right? Like, he's just white dude. Yeah, I noticed he had a southern accent because he was talking to the lady behind the register and blah blah blah. And he goes, and I'm just sitting there just on my phone, and he's like, I just saw that Mario on your arm. 80s baby. Oh, you got the Ninja Turtles too? 80s baby. I was like, yeah, 83. He was like, and pound it, whatever. I was like, all right, like, and I was like, yeah, we had the best, we had the best cartoons and stuff. We had the best Saturday mornings or whatever. And he goes, word, word. And I'm just like, I
country boy.
just like, all right, man. I'm like, why I gotta get the
yeah. Why you look at me and think that the answer is word?
Yeah, word.
I got
Daps
like, and word and so you think that's the way I communicate?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yep. That's exactly it. It's like,
yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm. All right.
It's
right.
I will say I feel like our generation also like and maybe even like folks that are and actually maybe it gets even worse the younger you get, but definitely I've noticed in folks that are within a 10-year buffer below, it's almost like we're part of that generation where hip hop finally crossed the border, right? And
Sure.
a lot of our generation was like we were defending hip hop as a pop culture thing, but seemingly, at least the way that I've found with a lot of people that are maybe not even 10 years, just like in a 5-year range around my age, that I look at and just from a visual perspective don't seem like that was their vibe. And then somehow throughout conversations, they tell me how like Nas is their favorite musician and of all time and shit. And they starts like literally quoting lines and spitting bars and like it's just weird to me. That's like, okay. I
Not yet.
guess
Like, our generation was like that at
our
first.
generation is just weird gamut crossing.
Yeah, and I blame that more on like TRL, right? Like the TRL generation, because that's we all sat there and watched TRL 106 in Park. And there was a mixture of that type of music on TRL. So, we get those videos of white folks singing to the window to the wall and shit like that. It's our generation. But it's the next generation where shit kind of crosses over because they're the internet generation, right? They grew up with nothing but the internet. So languages get mixed together.
Completely.
The lingo crosses barriers. People know what you're talking about.
Right.
People who have never been to the hood, like period, know all the hood slang. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
exactly. Yeah.
It's just
That's
a very weird kind. That's that internet generation, and we're a part of that too. But we have
a little bit,
a little bit, not so much, but the younger ones who grew up with the full internet for their entire lives, they don't know what it's like to pull out a fucking MapQuest printout to get to where you got to go.
That was the shit back then.
Yeah, and if there was a change,
which is crazy, is like MapQuest was like a fucking like a dream come true when it came out. When Yahoo Maps and MapQuest, it was like, oh my god, can you believe this thing can just give me directions from a specific point to point, and I can just print it out?
Yeah,
and have that with me.
Either that or the fucking or when like True GPS came out, but you needed an actual GPS device.
Yeah,
and
not on the first iPhone when it didn't have GPS, it was only like Wi-Fi based, and you had to like rely on open Wi-Fi networks to get around the town.
Yep, that was the worst. But it was better than what we had, which was MapQuest.
Absolutely. No, I mean that's why I relied on it for a long time before.
Yeah, because if there's a detour, you're fucked.
3GS, I think, is when it came out with GPS. I can't remember if it was 3G or 3GS. Either way, you would be fucked if there's anything. I remember, my driving around Pitbull story. I was actually trying to memorize the MapQuest directions because I didn't want to pull out the MapQuest directions while I was driving them around and let them feel like I didn't know where I'm going, even though I told him multiple times I'm not from here. I don't really know where I'm going.
Yeah.
But
I tell you, Macho did that with Bad Bunny, where he was
Map Quest part.
No, where he drove him
Oh,
around.
it's just driving him around.
It was
Rochester.
Yeah, because he promoted a show that he did. They brought him and his boys brought him here, and it was like a year before he like blew up.
Yeah.
And he said he was driving him around and and taking him where he had to go, and he was like, he remembers talking to him, and the dude was telling him, and Bad Bunny was telling him like, "Yo, I'm gonna be the biggest star in the world," and Macho was just like, "Yeah, okay," because he talks to all these people. He's like,
right.
Everybody says that, you know what I mean? But
yeah.
He's like, and a year or two later, and he was already, yeah, he was already like one of the biggest stars in the world. He's like, that shit is crazy.
Yeah. No, I remember that when he brought him to the Rock, because I had just gotten I was pretty early on that Bad Bunny wave as well, and I remember when he brought him to the Rock, I was like, yo, Macho definitely knows what the fuck is up, because he on those early waves.
Yeah,
I was like, this is one of those dudes that's on that early wave. Back when he was still just pretty much only doing trap, very very little.
Yeah,
reggaeton, and if he was on a reggaeton, it was like featuring on other people's shit.
Sure.
But anyways, no, yeah.
All right.
Foresight.
Let's get to recording, so that we can get the fuck on out of here.
Yeah.
All right, we're already in. What's good, Leo? Leo, you be trying to play like you mad young, and you younger than us, but you be knowing all the old school shit.
Word.
He probably old as fuck. He be lying. He probably lying.
He lying on his age. Are you lying on your age?
Yeah, he's probably just as old as we are. All right. We clapped in. We talked a little bit. We're going to play this old ass song that's probably going to be irrelevant in just a couple weeks or so. Fuck it. Let's do it.
And here we go.
You want to be like? Sensitivity equals fucking poverty.
Insensitive culture, the podcast. Check it out, homie.
Everyone, welcome to episode 254. As always,
What's up, Juac?
you know my guy on the other end. We are the casual nerds, baby.
Woo.
Yeah. See, yes, we still deserve an applause. I should at least do that. We are the casual nerds, baby.
I need somebody to be happy we here.
I know.
My wifey ain't.
Yeah, I mean, that's on you with the switching from Tuesday to Monday.
Yeah.
About that. You're like, we're not talking about that.
That's on her for doing shit. Who said you can have a life? I ain't never said you can have a life.
What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, is that because I've been a lot more active on making the social media stuff and interacting with people. I love that on our Daredevil take was like, you could tell they never read the comics. If they would, they shouldn't even be speaking on this. It's like, what gave that away?
Yeah, I don't know if you caught the casual on the casual.
Yeah, I don't know if you caught the casual nerds,
I'm
but
only half a nerd.
I'm gonna tell you right now, we don't give a fuck about the comics. We only care about what shows up on TV, and that shit had me hot.
I only like walking through comic book stores and appreciating the art and being like,
I read one every now and again.
One day I'm gonna read that book.
Here's the
right
thing.
now.
Here's the thing.
Other things I want to spend money on.
I do enjoy reading a good and I don't like going every week. I don't do the comic book weekly run. But when there is a graphic novel,
I didn't even know people did that. People do that.
Yeah, Rocco goes every week. Once a week, he goes to and picks up the new comics that are out for that week and read the run. So like, but he's a nerd. He's like,
I mean, yes, this is established lore of the show.
but like me, I like the graphic novels, which essentially is just that. It's either it releases as a graphic novel, which is just a longer version of a regular comic book, or they take a run of comics and put them all in one book. So once after they release, so I'll do that. I'll pick that up and I'll read that run, but very rarely. But even then, I enjoy TV. I enjoy movies. That is my original love, is the movies, cinema, like all that shit. And comic book movies are a small part of that. But because of that, I know that it takes it's different to translate that shit into film. So yeah, I mean, there's gonna be a lot of liberties. So when people, you know, they're like, oh well, that's not how it happened in the comics. So like, yeah,
Right.
okay, that's cool. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, no
Trailer
kidding.
told me they were gonna break more legs and more elbows and shit, and I was happy to watch that. And it didn't really break too many. That was enough. I'm still happy with the story, but I wanted more broken bones. That's it.
That's all.
Yeah, that's all.
Not too much to ask for.
Not too much. How was your I know you're gonna assume that I was gonna ask how was your Easter, but nah, that's not what we're asking. How was your 420, bro? I know you probably enjoyed that. Did you enjoy that? Did you partake?
Honestly, I wish I did. This is probably first 420 in 20 years that was
You didn't
just
do at least some small special thing.
I didn't I barely was able to recognize that it was 420. Now don't get me wrong, that doesn't mean I didn't smoke, because I smoke every day, but it was just like a regular smoke day for me, because I had the worst motherfucking weekend of all weekends.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I could just
Whatever you want, but you're not obligated.
I mean, I can, because it was you know, it's something that occurred. Now I will say that, you know, I say all of this knowing that I'm very blessed, and I'm very grateful that I have a second place that I can sometimes go to and enjoy. And it was, you know, super cheap relatively, but still it's nice to, you know, it's a thing, right? I have a second, I have a you know, the lake house,
right?
which is really awesome. However, having a second place that you don't visit for like 4 or 5 months and then go back to, thinking, yeah, we're just gonna do some spring cleaning and enjoy the Easter holiday weekend. Maybe I'll get the chief on the 420 special celebration day. Nah, fuck that. The vacation gods rained hell upon me all weekend. First, very small thing, but I found there was like rodents or vermin throughout the house while we were gone, that were like, you know, raided the pantry and started putting shit in little corners and hiding things in little areas of the house underneath the pillows. So, you know, that caused all the ladies to get all up into a ruckus about the cleaning and the nastiness and all that stuff. But that's not what made the weekend suck, because that was just like, oh fuck, man, this sucks, you know. You gotta do something to attack this and prevent this from the future. But, you know, also that's what happens when you don't visit a house that, you know, is in the wilderness or whatever. I want to say wilderness, but, you know, it's out in the sticks for 4 or 5 months, and that's, you know, critters like to be warm too. I get it. The bad part was, though, later that evening, someone decided to just turn the water on or rinse a cup out, and no water. Water decided it doesn't want to come out anymore. So for the entire weekend, we had no running water in the house, and I spent the entire day Saturday trying to repair the well, going back and forth to the hardware store. And let me tell you, it's I will say, they're not a sponsor, but they should be. Lowe's has got to be the best home improvement store, home store of all time. I'll never shop at Home Depot again. These people at Lowe's literally were treating me like I was a VIP. Like, from the moment I would walk in the door, they were walking me to products. And I went to Lowe's 7 times, And every time, yes, not the same Lowe's either. Multiple cities I went to visit a Lowe's. Not just the same experience every time. Never the same never the same people. So it's not like someone
Sure.
recognized me and was like, "Oh, let me take care of this guy. I know he's working on a big project." No, every time I walked in, there's somebody new was like, "Hey, can I help you out?" And I would be like, "Yeah, I'm looking for this." And we're like, "Yeah, let me show you where it is." Not tell me where it is. They would walk me through to the other side of the store. I was like, "Y'all must be either super bored or this is like a mandate from
You
the
are in the
company."
boonies, though. You are in the boonies.
Yeah, they were both, boonies stores, definitely not city stores.
Sure.
But yeah, they were very, very nice people at this at the Lowe's. Anyways, nothing. Let me just tell you, first off, I had no idea how deep the well at my house was.
It's
I
pretty
just
deep.
knew that the pump was at the bottom of the well, and this story will probably have multiple pauses. So I'm just gonna pause the whole story right now. But yeah, super deep. So you start pulling this fucking hose out of the well, and we
Out of
have
the
no
earth.
idea when it's gonna end.
At this point, it's out of the earth completely. Like it's somewhere in
Yes.
the depths.
I thought we were like pulled halfway to China, bro. Like this was no joke. Uh Ended up and like we're literally just so the way it works, right, is there's literally a pipe that attaches to like the water that goes in the house, and then a hose that's probably, I don't know, 2 to 3 inches in girth, and then it just drops all the way down to the bottom of the well and attaches to a pump that pumps the water up.
Sure.
Pretty straightforward. And it's like, all right, now we got to lift this thing out of the earth, and get to the pump. Apparently it's about 300 feet. So takes about 20 minutes or so just to pull this damn thing out using all of the strength that you can muster as a human man. And yeah,
Which for Johnny is not much.
it's not much. So I have to do twice the effort
Okay.
of a normal human man just to be able to accomplish this. 3 people. It's still 20
Oof.
minutes it took. The first time we were like, I don't know when this shit is gonna end. So we just started wrapping it around the house. And it was wrapped around the house about 1.5 times. The second time we decided to lay it all the way down the street. The third time we did the same thing again. And the fourth time we only had to do part of it because we were trying to test it with the lake. Yeah, 4 times I had to take this thing out of the well, 300 feet, and then put it back in the well, 300 feet. It's not like you just go, okay, slide right back in there. No, you got to fucking force that shit back down the water. Yeah,
Oh,
this
man.
shit was ridiculous amounts of labor. And not to mention, trying to figure out what the fuck is the actual problem, because as of today, still don't have fucking water running into the house.
Okay.
There was electrical shit we were dealing with. Ended up again, this is why I went to the fucking store multiple times. Long story short, very labor intensive weekend. Didn't have any enjoyment at all. And was not really able to enjoy 420 because all I wanted to do was get the fuck out of there and come home and sleep. Also
Yeah.
didn't get to do that, but I did come home as early as possible, and made the most attempt I could to have some enjoyment on 420. I will give another shout out to Wildflower, the dispensary in Auburn that hooked me up with a couple free pre-rolls after I bought a couple for holiday celebrations. But outside of that, how was your Easter and 420 weekend?
In comparison to that, it was spectacular. We just did it is the usual shit. I don't celebrate 420. That's not my thing. We just did some regular Easter dinner because the day before we did the Easter egg hunt with the kids.
Cool.
My girl's family always does it, and they hide a bunch of eggs and shit around one of the
Nice.
family members' house. So that was cool. And then Yeah, yeah. We had and then for dinner yesterday we had it was my first time eating lamb chops. So
Ooh,
yeah, father-in-law
that's nice.
went and yeah, he just copped some lamb chops and made them for us. It was pretty good.
Nice. Lollipop them?
Yeah, no, I don't believe so. No, it was just regular cut.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but and I'm not sure how he made them, but he has smokers. He has all that shit. He loves cooking. So, and now he's retired. So, he plans all that shit.
That's
So,
awesome.
yeah, no, I very appreciative of things like that. Like tonight, he made burgers for us tonight. You know, so
Nice.
I be eating good. I be eating good with them.
Eating good in the neighborhood.
Facts. So yeah, and but I did notice that I didn't see too much 420 things going on. I don't know if it's because I cleared out my algorithm of a lot of fuckery. Not saying that 420 is fuckery, but you know, usually 420 is attached to the fuckery. So so I didn't see a whole lot. So I wondered if that was just because of the whole Easter thing where people were probably feeling a little guilty, you know, mixing religion with the yerba.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it was necessarily a religious guilty thing, but more just it's a double holiday and
Yeah,
so many people have like
you can only do
family
so much.
shit going on. Yeah, you just got family shit going on. You can't have your big ass 420 party that you usually throw in the backyard because you got to have your in-laws over for dinner or something like that, right? And
Sure.
so I think
Yeah.
that might be because I'll say the same. I didn't see as much. Not that again, I was a little busy all weekend, but even leading up to it, I didn't see as much 420 content online this year as most years.
That's what I've.
Yeah.
Hey, but I'll tell you one thing, and then we'll move the fuck right on.
Word.
As bad as I feel about, you know, like maybe certain things, I'm not a real religious person, but at least I can say one thing is the Pope did not die after meeting me. But anyway, we'll continue. We'll continue with the show.
Yeah, shout out R.I.P. to Papa.
Yeah, R.I.P.
Papa.
El Papa. Or as you know, I'm pretty sure Republicans everywhere are making excuses, saying, "Well, he was the woke Pope, that's why." And blah,
Oh yeah,
blah,
the woke
yeah,
Pope.
yeah, the woke Pope. So whatever.
Yeah, that's what I was reading right before when we were in the pre-show.
I'm sure.
Somebody sent some shit that what's her name? Marjorie Taylor Greene made a comment, some nasty like evil is being defeated by the hand of God today or some shit like that.
Yeah, and it's so stupid because with anybody, if it was the other way around, and we ain't got to get on all that, but if it was the other way around, they would 100% say, "Oh, that's proof that he's the Antichrist," right?
Yeah.
That he shakes hands with the Pope and the Pope ends up dead, you know, hours
Right.
later. So yeah. But I digress. It's a never-ending battle.
It's a never-ending thing. Yeah.
I only have one, but let's get into. Question. All right, so as I just said, we only have one question for this week, and it's a very simple one. I'm pretty sure that you have someone in mind for this.
Okay.
But if you have to beat one male actor in a fight to win $1 million, who would you pick?
I've heard a couple good ideas here, but my idea is to make this fight as easy as possible. I'm gonna go Ian McKellen.
Oh,
Just knock an old man out.
Just knock the
Not
old
only
man
old, because
Okay.
I almost chose Patrick Stewart, Jean-Luc Picard, but I feel like he might got like some old man strength in him.
I was gonna say, even with Ian McKellen, right? What if he knocks you the fuck out? What if he eats that hit?
It would be
knocks you
if
out?
he ate that hit. I think it would be he would deserve the whatever he gets as his prize. Because the reason I chose him is he's pretty frail. So I figured
Yeah.
two, 3 blows, I could get this dude down. But if he's able to eat all of those, then I'm even weaker than I imagined myself to be. And he deserves whatever prize he gets for that.
Yeah. Well, and not that this is any indicator of really anything, but not only did you get your ass beat by an old man, someone's gonna come out there and be like, yo, you got your ass beat by a gay old man.
Word.
Not that that's any indicator, because you could definitely get your ass beat by a gay man.
Yeah. Pause.
Oh yeah, no, I paused you mid-sentence. You just didn't catch that. Oh man, he said, "Oh, if he takes those blows, it's like, oh, okay." Let's see. I would have to go with Timothée Chalamet.
Oh, he looks also.
He has the potential to fight me and do some damage, but yeah, I don't think that power is there, bro. I think I can take him, bro.
He got to have rat power.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. You like, and the biggest indicator is that sketch that he has with what's his name, that Saturday Night Live sketch with the yeet skirt, where he has the tank top.
Yeah.
Bro, that I think his muscles are in the negative. So like he has like that Urkel looking body. I think Urkel probably got him though.
Definitely nowadays, for sure.
I mean nowadays, but even back then in the show, I think even he was bigger than Timothée Chalamet. Yeah. I think that'll be a cool million.
That's a good battle right there. That's an easy mill in your pockets.
Yep. I think I just smack him. Bah! That's it. Yeah. I think that's
like
a good
one of them UFC power slaps.
Something, yeah. Just straight, just shift his facial structure.
Or
a good ass slap. Because I also probably would have gone with what's his name? Used to date Kim K.
Pete Davidson?
Yeah, but see, Pete Davidson looked like he's crazy.
Yeah, he crazy.
Yeah, he crazy, and he would probably beat the fuck out of somebody. But and I'm not saying this because I feel like this person is a pushover or he's weak or whatever. But I was watching an interview with Tom Hardy. And Tom Hardy, and everything that he's in, he plays the man, right? Like you don't want to mess with him. He's a cleaner, closer, like a man's man, assassin, blah, blah, blah. But this interview, he didn't seem like he was, he didn't seem like he was soft.
Are you calling him Tom Softy?
Well, he had his French bulldog, and he was just treating him like he was his kid. He's just like, and then he had his actual accent. He's just like, it was like one of the food things. That's like one of my guilty pleasures on YouTube is watching those like any kind of interview based thing that's like based around food. I like watching that shit. And like the dog tried it, and he's with his French bulldog. He's like, oh man. He's like, oh, I'm looking at you different now, mate. And blah, 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 like with his accent. And I'm just like, he really is a good actor.
Oh boy.
This man is a thespian.
He definitely is.
Yeah, he is. I'm not saying he's soft or nothing, but after watching him on Mobland, where he has that cold demeanor, and then just like letting that shit go and actually being himself.
You think you could take him?
Yeah, it was eye opening. You know who was completely different, and we ain't gotta leave that subject. We can leave that subject right after that. My man from Dope Thief. I forget his name. His
Brian Tyler. No.
Yes.
Brian Tyler Henry.
I think yeah. I believe so. Here, I'll look it up. But
they can't have 3 first names, right? This is Brian Tyler Henry.
Henry.
What's that?
Brian Tyree Henry.
Brian Tyree Henry. He does have 3 first names.
He does have 3 first names. Yes. I saw an interview with him where he was.
Oh yeah, he's
himself, and
yeah.
I was like, oh, I wasn't expecting that.
No, yeah. He definitely comes off like the Key and Peele sketch for sure.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I sent it to Dave, and Dave was like, oh, I didn't expect all that. All right.
Yeah, no, he come off like what was that that Compton, Born in Compton movie or whatever. What was that? Where the white kid gets kidnapped, because he pretends like he's hard from Compton.
Oh, you're talking about what is it? It was something Beverly Hills something.
Something like that.
I be hating.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, I know. I can't remember the name of the movie.
Yeah, Brian Tyree definitely be coming off like that sometimes.
Yes, but I'll share the clip with you off air, and it was very, very surprising to me indeed. Anyway, we can get off of that and get into some actual Hollywood. All right, man. So as you know, and I made some content on it for our socials, but this past weekend, Ryan Coogler released Sinners, and it's been all the rage, at least on the pages that I follow. It's been all over threads. It literally has
Malibu's Most Wanted, by the way.
Malibu's Most Wanted. There you go. Ryan Coogler's Sinners released this weekend, and it absolutely killed the box office. It was literally my threads was all Sinners and people talking about Sinners and saying, just giving this man his props. And I couldn't agree more. The movie was amazing. I really recommend anybody go and watch that because not only is it a great cinematic film. I saw it in IMAX, and I'm glad that I did because he literally, like, he took all of his skills, and he said that himself in an interview. He said that he wanted to take all of the skills that he's put together with these films, because Fruitvale Station was literally the very first movie that he made outside of film school, like within the year. And that catapulted him to what he's doing today. And he wanted to, and everything that he's learned along the way, he wanted to showcase that in this movie. And I can't talk more, I can't say anything more positive about this movie. Cinematography, the actors, the culture that was mixed into the movie, and all of this being in a horror movie, reminiscent of a what was the Dawn of the, is it no
From Dusk Till Dawn?
Dusk Till Dawn. That same type of a feeling in that movie is kind of like that, right?
Okay.
Lovecraft Country.
That makes sense.
Gave me Lovecraft Country feeling. Because it's a horror vampire movie with dope twists very dope explanations. He wrote it, directed it, and he showed out on it, right? And a lot of people were already going into it because he released this featurette explaining the difference in film, because he filmed this in he filmed this in IMAX. I believe he with is it IMAX film, maybe 70 millimeter. I think he even did that.
Okay.
So anyway, he really showed himself out there, right? So, and it was very good. Everybody is raving about it. It's still in the high 90% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's just amazing. So, all that being said, there's other controversies that have come up from it because of the way that they're treating it, right? So Variety has come under scrutiny. There's a lot of influencers who are speaking on this and making videos on TikTok and all the socials talking about Variety's. They wrote an article, and the way the caption wrote, or the headline wrote, it seemed like they were trying to downplay what he did. And I'll read it for you. It says, the quote from Variety says that Sinners has amassed 61 million in its global debut. It's a great result for an original R-rated horror film, yet the Warner Brothers release has a $90 million price tag, so profitability remains a ways away. So it had a $90 million budget, and it made
kind of low
million on its first weekend, right?
Yeah.
So why?
Pretty sure it should hit.
Yeah. That's what everybody is saying, and then not one person is saying, "Yo, this movie was trash." Right? There's your outliers, like every once in a while from all the.
I mean, it's a horror film, so it's not going to break $1 billion or anything.
Right.
Like,
and then so to even further throw in there, to even throw some more in there, Ben Stiller, and people are tagging this too. Ben Stiller came out and retweeted that, or whatever, rethreaded it, or wherever he shared it, and wrote the caption, "In what universe does $60 million opening for an original studio movie warrant this headline?"
Yeah.
And so everyone's, going to that.
Shout out to Ben Stiller for being the man. Shout out to
Ben Stiller. Yeah, a lot of people are coming out defending it because, again, it's an amazing movie. And then they went as far as comparing it to Quentin Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Oh.
Well, no, this is what I'm. So the reason why
I can't imagine that it did even close to its budget opening weekend.
So that's what I'm saying. So like it. So Once Upon a Time in Hollywood grossed 41 million on its opening weekend with the same budget, 90 million.
See? Yeah.
And Variety's headline for them at that point was Once Upon a Time in Hollywood starts strong with $41 million opening weekend. So, and there are a bunch of other ones, but I felt like that's the best comparison because it's both from Variety. So, and of course, everyone's saying, I wonder what the difference is. And then they show pictures of the cast.
I mean, I won't go as far as to call out.
I won't do that. I won't do all that.
I will say haterism. There's a lot of haters in this game. And I don't know what else came out this weekend that people would throw money at Variety to print a negative headline. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna go as far as saying that's the only reason that you would disparage this movie in that way. Maybe people just don't like Ryan Coogler. Maybe they don't like the way that he treats the press, or the way his whatever it is. No excuses in any way, right? It's a bullshit headline. And yeah, Variety could suck the fat one for that, Leo. 100%. Because it's bullshit. There's no reason for them to Even like even in today's day, like crossing that's like almost 30% of your budget on opening weekend. I mean, sorry,
Yeah,
not 30%.
that's
60
more than,
over
yeah,
60% of your budget on
yeah.
30 on opening weekend is pretty fucking great.
Oh, that was, yeah, it was
Especially in
amazing.
today's like, theater experience. People don't spend money on movies as much. Uh, and $90 million is actually pretty fucking dope that he was able to pull a whole movie together, which seemingly had a decent number of effects placed on it.
Sure,
I would say he came in on the low end for 90 mil.
he did.
Fuck
Yeah,
Variety. But it's always been fuck Variety. They always got bad takes.
right. No, they have incredibly bad takes in it, and the internet is not letting it slide.
Yeah. I mean, I
Because
just don't want to
people
straight
really
jump
love
on
this.
it's because he's a black director with a black
Sure,
cast. I'm
sure.
sure there's some of that. I'm going to say that there ain't none of that. But whoever wrote that headline and the editors that approved it, I'm sure had different axes to grind that weren't solely based on skin color. I'm sure there's some other shit that they don't like about Ryan Coogler or the cast or the production team or the studio house involved or any of that shit.
Yeah,
Because sounds to me like some hater shit.
yeah. It's
Hater.
definitely some hater ass shit. But now, I mean, y'all saw it. I went and saw it. I'm asking everyone to go keep that momentum going, man. He deserves it. He deserves that. It's such a good movie. Whether you like horror movies, not, it doesn't even feel like a horror movie. And like the way he approached
Kind of
it.
like Dust Till Dawn, right?
Yeah,
Didn't
kind
really
of like
feel
Dust
like a
Till
horror
Dawn,
movie.
where it didn't really feel like a horror movie. Like I said, man, it's hard to explain without giving it away. A lot of key things away, but it has a lot of culture in it. He did his homework, down to the main vampire dude. Had like he had an Irish accent, and he would talk about how, oh yeah, like when he quoted the Bible or something, he was like, yep, and he recited the words word for word because somebody was praying. He was like, yep, they came and they said those words to us when they took my people over, and you know what, even though it has a lot of bad blood, it still gives me a little comfort till this day. You know what I mean? Like, and little things like that was just like, damn, like it's crazy. So I urge everybody, go check that out. I went dolo. It was a 3 p.m. showing for me, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. So
That's awesome.
please go support. Let me see, what else do I have? Yeah, and that was just it was just shitty to see that. That's all.
Yeah.
What else happened this past weekend? Okay, so Star Wars had their celebrations event, and they not too many things that we didn't really know was announced, but the people who were able to celebrate that, and I believe that was like in like Japan or something. It wasn't anywhere local, because I saw some folks that I follow who were taking trips out to like Japan for that.
Interesting.
Yeah, it is very interesting. I would like to go. So whoever's watching, I know it's not Leo, but he can't get me there. But we would like to go to that. So yeah, so among the few things that were announced, they had the cast of Mandalorian and Grogu, where they came out, and they showed some stills and a bunch of behind the scenes stuff going on with that. I wish I could show some stuff, But let's see. He said, I got a cousin who can. Leo trying to get us out there. I appreciate you. They confirmed, obviously, they were, speaking up the Andor season 2 that is coming out soon. I can't wait for that. That looks good. They released. Did you watch an exclusive that comic book released that was like a clip? Did you get to see that of Andor season 2?
No, I did. I think it came across my channels and I skipped over. I don't want to see any clips
you
of
don't like.
Andor.
Yeah, I know you want to see the real thing. When does that drop? I know it drops soon. Is it like next week?
Very soon. I want to say it's. Oh, you know what? We are at the end. I was gonna say towards the end of April. But we are at the end of April.
Oh, as if we are recording, that's probably why we're recording today, because it drops tomorrow, April 22nd. Yes,
April 22nd. Yep, April 22nd, Disney Plus. 3 episodes. It's coming out. It's very interesting. It's a 12 episode season.
Okay.
But each week you get 3 episodes. So it's only 4 weeks. And from my understanding, each week is like a new chapter. So you'll get 3 episodes that take place in this chapter's timeline. And then at the end of that week, it does a time jump. And the next week, you're like a year later or 2 years later or something like that. Because this is the wrap. Like there's no more season after this. It goes from now to Rogue One. And the last episode is like right before the events of Rogue One, basically.
Okay.
So yeah, it's only 4 weeks of 3 episode drops.
Yes, and they confirmed that. It says each 3 episodes will be 1 year.
Okay, 1 year. Yep.
Yeah. And then we're focused on the most important 3 to 4 days for every year. So it's 1 year, it's 3 to 4 days, the most important 3 to 4 days within that year. And I don't believe it says like how much time in between, at least not too much, but I'm pretty sure we'll find out. So that is a very interesting way to release that. And
I like it. I like it. I was reading this article earlier today that was talking about, and it was very little comparison, but there was a little bit of comparison to just, the current political climate in the U.S. But it was really talking about how like this season shows that like a real revolution and change takes time. But each step is another domino in the chain that eventually gets you to the point that we see in the Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope, right? Like all the things that transpired between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope. There was a lot that had to happen for the rebels to become a full-on rebellion that had a full-on battalion of armament and all the weaponry that they had by the time we get to A New Hope. Like you don't just start up in your basement and all of a sudden have a full-on army. And this again, I will plant my flag in the ground. I still think that the Andor series alongside Rogue One is the best storytelling thus far that we've seen in Star Wars. There's been a lot of good stuff. And of course, Episode 4 will forever be the GOAT. But I think right behind Episode 4, I'm going to say Rogue One and follow that up with Season 1 of Andor. And thus far, it's seeming like Season 2 of Andor is crushing also the Rotten Tomatoes scores.
Yeah.
I believe it's also still in the 90s so far.
I haven't looked it up in a while, but I believe you because it's definitely one of the best shows to come out of that. So,
Yeah.
um,
Well, I mean, it hasn't been released yet, so I don't know
well,
how many of the
I just mean
reviewers get
Andor in
access
general.
to it.
Sure.
Yeah. For season 1, for sure, is really high up there, and I believe season 2 is still thus far in the 90s. Very few reviewers, uh, less than 100, have posted yet. But yeah, season 2 of Andor is looking to be crunchy.
What are we in? Let me see. I'm trying to look it up. For some reason, I can't uh bring it in. I can't see what the Rotten Tomato score is at this moment. And every time I try to bring up Andor, it like gives me some other strange ass movies named Andor. Oh, here we go. Okay. 97%.
Nice.
97% with an 87% audience score. So I think
That's fucking amazing.
yeah, that's extremely promising. But to keep on with the Star Wars news, and again, that drops for us. I'm not sure if we're releasing this on Wednesday or Thursday, depending on what Quest wants to do. But um, the episodes, 3 episodes, will be out by the time this recording drops. Either way, so that's fire. I'm happy about that. In other news that they released during the during this announcement is I didn't know Ahsoka was beginning was going to start shooting next week. So they announced that
Cool, nice.
Dave Filoni and Rosario Dawson begin shooting next week, and they brought my man Hayden Christensen out to confirm that he is returning in season 2.
Really? Okay, I'm down with that. Yeah, give me more Vader. I'm down with Vader
I'm down with Vader.
in all forms, in or out of mask.
Do you think that if they released a Vader movie or a strictly Vader series, that could be done
with Hayden?
With Hayden, yeah. That could be done in a good way where it's strictly about Vader, because they have comic runs with Darth Vader, and extra story arcs, so it can be done.
I think it can, and I think it would. Keeping the same Favreau Filoni team, I think it would probably fuck. The only like pause or apprehension I have to it is just, he's one of the mains, and creating something around specifically. I mean, we did the Obi-Wan show, and I thought that was pretty dastardly to go again after one of the mains and create a whole show around them. But Vader's even way bigger than Obi-Wan as far as who he is, right? And understanding that, yes, there have been comic runs and book runs about that storyline, but yeah, that's only the nerds know that. The main popular audience, the casual audience that we belong to, I don't know the storylines around those Vader books, and I don't know if it takes, like, from a movie perspective, does it take away from the ambiguity that is Vader, that scary, I don't know what the fuck he's gonna do, because I don't know that much about him, but I know he's fucking evil, Vader. I don't know. I think it would. I think they
Maybe
would
they still
absolutely
have an
crush it.
opportunity to build
It would
more
crush.
of that.
It would
Yeah,
crush. But at the same time, people were a little over the Skywalker saga.
sure.
And I think that's, we got also, as I think you already mentioned, the Starfighter
Hmm.
uh
No, I haven't mentioned
series.
that.
But well, so they brought that up at the Star Wars Celebration Day. Um and um and yeah, the Starfighter film is coming out, and it has nothing to do with the Skywalker saga
Yeah,
because
which
it's
is
after all
needed.
of it's absolutely needed. It's going to be a trilogy too, right? If I'm not mistaken.
I'm not sure, but we'll get to that in just a second.
Yeah. Either way, I think we need more of that, more of the expansion.
Mhm.
The Vader. To answer your question, will it be dope? Sure.
Sure.
Um, I, I don't want to make. Actually, no. Let Hayden get older, so that he looks more like old Vader when we
And he's
met
getting there. He doesn't.
old
Yeah,
Vader.
he's not. He's getting there.
Yeah, I mean, let
Um,
him get in his 50s. Let's wait till Hayden Christensen's in his 50s. Hopefully, he still wants to act,
sure.
and then he can fulfill the old Vader version, and give us a little vibes that way.
Okay. Another big thing that's gonna be happening with Ahsoka is what's his name? Rory McCann is taking over the role of Balin Skull
Right.
due to Ray Stevenson's passing.
Yes.
Ray Stevenson, everyone raved about his performance in that and saw that character is way bigger than there's a lot to that character that people really enjoyed, and it's really unfortunate that he passed before actually seeing all of that through. But Steve McCann, I'm not familiar. Let me bring him up because I'm not sure if I'm familiar with Steve McCann, but I'm not. Let's see. Oh, sorry, I keep saying Steve. Rory McCann.
Mm-hmm.
Am I familiar with his work? He's from Game of Thrones. Oh, yeah. He played the Hound.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. I can't wait to see what he does with it. Honestly, I think will he do that justice? Yeah, I like them as the Hound. So, Danny says Harrison Ford is not available. I mean, if the money's right, he'll bring his curmudgeon ass out there. Let's see. Can you imagine if Harrison Ford takes over as Vader?
No.
Yeah. Well, Luke, I guess I am your father. Let's see. What else did they announce? So I'm looking forward to Ahsoka. I think that's going to be very good. First season was dope. I enjoyed it, even though yes, there is a Skywalker fatigue. So, but I think there has to be a mix, right? There has to be a little bit of both, right? We need to get some story that has nothing to do with the Skywalkers, and then we can
You said, "Get the hell off my
bit more.
plane." That's funny.
Get the hell off my my Starfighter. Let's see. So Starfighter.
Oh, that's funny.
Starfighter was announced, and this is very, very promising. Like Quest said that it's has nothing to do with. So let me start again. Starfighter is a brand new, it's a brand new film starring what's his name? Jesus Christ. See, you messed me all up. Ryan Gosling. Here we go. Let's see. All right, Starfighter is a film starring Ryan Gosling, being directed by Sean Levy. Sean Levy is obviously very popular for. Didn't he do Wolverine, Deadpool and Wolverine?
I think so.
Yeah, he did Deadpool, Wolverine, and he did Logan. So, I mean, that's going to be awesome. What were some of the things that were confirmed on that? It takes place 5 years after the latest trilogy. So it has nothing to do with the Skywalker saga, at least up to this point. It doesn't say anything where it has to do with anything of that. It says it could take place anywhere in the Star Wars skyline. It's no longer a Star Wars movie in development, blah, blah, blah. Let's see. Pretty much they said they can't really say too much other than that it takes it's set in 5 years after episode 9.
I love it.
I can't wait to see what that leads to. It doesn't say that. Oh no, it says it's a standalone adventure. I thought they said it was a standalone movie, but adventure could mean that it could be more than one movie. It doesn't say anything about it being a trilogy. So I know that initially the trilogy was said to be from Taika. Taika had a trilogy.
Right. Yeah.
And
Which got like moved around or some shit, right?
yeah. I don't know what's going on with that. That was not mentioned during this event. I think
that got deaded.
Possibly. I think they're trying to let that just, I mean, after the whole Thor Love and Thunder, I think it's all right.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Is that the last thing? No, Taika did something after that, right?
Yeah,
He's
I think
done a
we're
couple
still a
of things
Taika
after
pod.
that.
Danny asks, are we still a Taika pod? I think
Fuck yeah.
I think we're still a Taika pod. Yeah.
I'm just trying to think, because he had the little Hitler thing.
Mm-hmm.
That was after.
He hasn't really had anything. Yeah, he had another that pirate show on. He had that pirate show.
Is that
canceled?
The last thing that he's been doing?
No, he did. I mean, he did What We Do in the Shadows. And then he did why the hell are producers listed first? On my thing here. So as far as directing, he did a lot of small things. Time Bandits was a
Time
TV
Bandits,
series.
Our Flag Means Death, Next Goal Wins.
Some Rita Ora
The
stuff.
next thing he has is Kiara and the Sun.
Yeah, he hasn't done much. I think he's
doing a lot of like kids shit.
He's doing a lot of small things, but listed in there is definitely untitled Taika Waititi Star Wars film.
Yeah, it's still listed. He's still director and co-writer.
Sure.
However, it's uncertain that this will. And he himself has expressed that developments in Hollywood can be unpredictable, and it's unclear if this film will proceed.
Right.
Yeah. Not a great endorsement of his project.
Nah, but I'm hopeful. I think he can still put together something. But yeah, I mean, it's not a bad thing that he just falls back a little bit. I think he just falls way too deep into that like comedy. I enjoyed Thor Love and Thunder. I just felt like it needed to be more balanced, and it fell more onto the comical side of things, and that's where it fell short. Like they wasted such a good villain in that movie, and I don't know, let him breathe, let him feel that impact, and maybe they'll attack it and he comes at it with, you know, a little bit more of that that love that he had for it when he directed his couple of episodes of The Mandalorian. Obviously, I think I already mentioned it, but they already did Mandalorian and Grogu. They showed a lot of behind the scenes stuff. That was I believe they wrapped filming. And all the images that I saw looked awesome. I can't wait to see that. Let me see. That's not important. What else? Oh yeah, they also announced a Star Wars Maul Shadow Lord animated series that's going to be coming out. So I like that for the dude who voices Maul in all of the animated series. I like that actor. I think his name is it Sam? Oh, I was gonna say something completely inaccurate.
I have no idea.
As I always do. I like them from a few things. Let me see. Sam Witwer is the
yeah.
He's been voicing he's been voicing him for years. Then they talked about Star Wars Visions is continuing with Volume 3 and something called The Ninth Jedi. That's the anime-based Star Wars, right? It's an anthology where it's all just like anime type of art, and it has nothing. It's not canon to Star Wars at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, they announced a continuation of that. But that was it. That's pretty much all of the important news that came with that. So very exciting stuff to come out of Star Wars, I guess. Let's see. Let me put that in there because I don't have that in the notes.
Can we pause right now?
Huh?
Since you took a little pause in your thought, I'm gonna take a pause to be peace.
Bro, we're on a live show right now. What are you talking about?
Live show.
We are on a fucking live show, you dick. See, you Twitch viewers, Quest does not take you seriously enough. Danny, he's wasting your time. Leo, he's wasting your time. Taking piss breaks and shit. I know. What the fuck? I know WrestleMania weekend happened. I saw all the videos from people who actually attended. That shit looked insane. The bros group chat won't shut the fuck up about it. It looked pretty dope. He is also taking a piss break with you. Danny asked, where Quest go? I was on a piss break. Yeah, he took one with you, bro. He saw that you were out there, and he laughed at the fact that we are on a live show right now. So if new people come on and they're watching it, Quest doesn't care. He needs to take his piss. You think you can pause the show? Apparently, Quest agrees. He can pause the show too.
Whew.
Yep. I need to start making some things for that. For when you just decide to walk off, because that's becoming a thing. Oh man. All right. So if you're ready to come back to this, let's see. Oscars. The Oscars decided to throw out a rule that, I'll be honest with you, I didn't know it wasn't a rule to begin with. But apparently the Oscars came out, and now it is a rule that if you are nominating or if you're voting for a nominated film, you have to actually watch it in order to vote for it. What?
Or vote against it.
Or to vote against it? No, not right now. It says if you don't see, if you you can't vote if you did not see all the nominated films
for the categories,
For that
basically.
category.
So
Yes,
yes, you
obviously.
have to watch all the movies in the category and then vote for your favorite of those movies in the category. You can't just watch one movie or two movies in the category
And say, yeah,
and then
that's what I
say,
want.
yeah, that was so good. That's the one I'm going to vote for, and fuck
Sure.
the rest.
Yeah. Are you surprised that all of this came from, after the amount of nominations that what the hell was that movie called? Because I've never seen it and don't plan on
Which
seeing
one?
it.
Honora?
Yeah, the Honora. No, not is it? No, not the Honora. The penis and vagina.
Oh, I don't even remember what the hell that movie was called.
I want to say it was like Maria something, Maria Elena or something.
Perez or something like
Yeah,
that. Something Perez. Ana Perez. I don't know. Whatever. Anyways, yeah. I mean,
I know it didn't have
I
anything. To do
agree
with
with
that, so.
you. I didn't realize this was not a rule. I thought you were supposed to watch the
Now you
movies.
have to see all of the movies. And I love this part that before this rule, they went on the honor system.
Right. They expected you to watch the movies before not voting for them. But it wasn't required. Again, how are they enforcing this now? Maybe through digital downloads, because I know that there's a I know for at least on Apple TV, there's an app that is a specific like screening app for films to be able to deliver a digital version, or for studios to deliver a digital watermarked version of a movie to your Apple TV, but you have to like sign into this app, etc. Like it's not the app itself is available to the public, but you have to sign in order to view it. So I'm guessing maybe that's how they'll enforce it moving forward. Like they're not going to deliver physical DVD screener copies like they have for years and years and years and years. Up until last year, I think they were still delivering DVD screeners. Apparently they're going to not do that anymore. And this is the only way that they can enforce. You did watch every movie. You can't place a vote until we have it recognized in our system that you saw all the flicks.
Every single one of them.
Yeah, and apparently they don't make you watch it like on a computer screen, like in a browser, like because that would suck. If that's the only way to watch all the movies.
This says that in the past, the only ones where this rule was enforced was the best foreign language film, which is now best international feature film, and best documentary. Those were the categories that for years you could only cast a vote if you could show that you had seen all five films in a theater. So you had to provide proof that you've seen these movies in a theater in order to vote for them. So this was a rule for those specific categories, and now I would say it's all categories. So if you want, yeah. So
weird that those two were.
I know,
of all the categories,
yeah,
the ones you had to show proof before were for the categories that very few people cared about.
Right. And maybe that's why.
Best picture? Who cares? Who cares if you didn't see all the movies? Want to vote for best picture? Vote for the one that paid you the most amount of money.
Yeah. They're voted on the honor system. That's encouraged
wild shit.
They were encouraged to see every nominee before voting, but the Academy did not make it a requirement in most categories. So it is very crazy. I
like to see progression. So kudos to the Academy
Yeah.
for finally moving forward. But Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's
makes you really think about all those movies that have won Best Picture that most people are like, what the fuck movie was that?
Sure.
I don't even know what movie this is.
So that's pretty cool. At least now, maybe we'll start seeing some actual good choices, or good wins. Because
Better wins.
a lot of these movies, a lot of these movies get.
That's what I'm hoping for.
Nubbed.
Better wins.
Yeah, better wins than that. I think the last thing that I have, because we were talking about Ryan Coogler earlier, I think this is pretty dope. His next project is he is spearheading the X-Files reboot.
I heard about that. I don't know how I feel about it. I mean, I feel like there's a part of me that compares it to the Twilight Zone reboot that Jordan Peele did, which was like cool, but there's like other shit that has come out.
See,
and now there's like Black Mirror, and so like the X-Files reboot, cool, but there's other things that have come out that have been X-Files-ish and more modern,
I guess.
Like, what is the Ryan Coogler spin that's gonna make this a better show outside of, I mean, more than likely what I would expect with Ryan Coogler attached, being very African American influenced.
Sure.
Outside of that, what is the what's the new thing that I'm getting out of the Ryan Coogler version of
I mean,
X-File
don't
reboot?
sleep on Ryan Coogler. I think I mean
it's gonna be good. I'm not saying it's not gonna be good, but like
no, I know. I'm saying like his writing is good. He's written all of the movies. I believe he wrote Fruitvale Station. He wrote the Black Panther movies, and he wrote Sinners. He did the the everything. I think he was attached to, for the most part. I believe either he completely wrote or he had a hand at writing.
Yeah.
I think he has, especially like after watching Sinners, I think he has a good eye for that stuff. And the only thing really that he said is he's like he said he's fired up to get back to writing those, and that some of those episodes will be really fucking scary, is what he said. I think there's more of a leeway with like X-Files because it's what, alien based, right? These people are paranormal
not always alien, just
no.
I don't think it was always alien.
I wasn't a big X-Files person, so I was pretty young.
It wasn't always specific to aliens, just paranormal shit. So there was like just weird stuff that happens. But like I said, like there's been other shows, like not to say that his level of work won't be higher and higher quality.
Sure. Like what
maybe I'm just hating because it's X-Files specifically, and he could have come out with something that was not named X-Files, and I would be like, this is the dopest shit ever. But the fact that now it's like X-Files named, I'm like, cool. I'm sure I'll watch it when it comes out. I don't think attached to the X-Files name gives me any more hype than if it wasn't attached to X-Files name. That's what I really mean. Is like, cool that they letting him reboot X-Files, but did it need to be X-Files? Could have been anything. Also, like, stop rebooting shit. Just give me new shit.
Never stop rebooting shit.
I know.
You watch the studio. That's how they all think.
Yeah.
I don't care about that artsy fartsy shit. Give me
money.
food.
I just need money.
Yeah, give me the fucking money. And even though one of the things I don't understand is when they revive some of these type of shows, like the X-Files, like that was popular in the 90s,
late 90s, yeah,
late 90s. So why? Who is the audience for that? that they have to reboot that. I mean, I'm
Us
familiar
old
with
people.
I'm familiar with the name, but it was because my dad used to watch the X-Files, right?
Right. That's why they're rebooting it.
Oh, yeah, I know it. Like I know
That's
the
why they're
name.
rebooting it.
Yeah,
Well,
I guess.
I also like, again, not our culture for the most part. Outside of being on Fox, which was, Fox, which was a little more pop culture-y at the time. But
Sure.
outside of that, like it wasn't really our straight up vibe during those times. I watched a lot of it mostly because of nerdism, but at the end of the day, I wasn't like a giant X-Files fan.
Like anything that has to do with like aliens and those type of things.
Yeah,
So
it would attract my attention. But I wasn't super hard up on Mulder and Scully or anything like that.
Was
However,
was every episode a different case, or
yeah,
was it all a
no,
okay.
it was a serial like that.
Okay.
And I think that's exactly who they're going for. Is people in our generation that watched the shit out of X-Files. They were, either just graduating high school or early in their college careers or just entering high school when X-Files was on TV. And it was their shit. And so, yeah, to come back and bring that around right now, 25 years later, it's the perfect time for people that have more expendable money and hopefully expendable time available to sit in front of a TV and watch some shit that brings them a little nostalgia, but also slaps them on the head with modernism.
Leo loves the idea. He says X-Files fucks. And he says that episode of X-Files when the with the bee farms, I believe, fucked me up. So I don't know which
I don't know
episode
what the fuck he's talking about, but sounds like it fucked.
Yeah, and he continues to throw out there that he's older than we are. So
yeah. Plus, I wouldn't doubt it. Plus, the resurgence of like Netflix and shit. Or well, not resurgence of Netflix, but rather the availability of Netflix has allowed for shows like that to resurge in a younger group, younger, demographic. There's a bunch of 20-year-olds that watch old episodes of the X-Files because I don't know why, because they're nerds, because they enjoy it and it was good TV. The same reason that people watch, like,
or maybe they just heard of it. Like they heard that.
That's what I'm saying. They heard of it from old nerds like us, real nerds, not casuals, real nerds. And they hear about it and they're like, I got to give that shit a shot. And then they hear their friends are watching and their friends are watching, and it becomes a thing. The same way that, like, Friends took off from that nostalgic point of view, and they tried to capitalize as much as they could on it. So yeah. I ain't mad. I ain't too mad at it. I'm just not too like hyped over it just because they're bringing back X-Files and Ryan Coogler's attached. Sounds cool. But
I think I'm more excited about it because Ryan Coogler is attached.
Sure.
In my that's
he's got to have some misses, right?
Oh, for sure.
I mean, y'all didn't like Black Panther 2. I loved it, but y'all didn't like it.
I wasn't. No, I mean, I think I was caught up on. I don't like Shuri's character. So
okay.
I don't. I didn't like. I didn't like her character as Black Panther. I think they could have done a better job at that. But did what he could. He's talked about it. He had the majority of that premise. He had the majority of that premise already written down. He's been talking about it with this press run. He's been talking a lot about Chadwick and how he ran that idea past him, and he was extremely excited about him. So the parts that he had already written, I loved about that movie. I thought, and it's all of, you know, the things that he's good at, right? Like the culture, even with Tenok's character, Namor, and like the background of that, the name, like the attention to detail when it came to bringing in that culture to, you know, to Namor and the Mexican culture, and
Yeah.
you know, like all of that was amazing. Those were the things that I loved about that movie. The things that I didn't like about that movie were the surface level shit, right? Like it was Shuri, you know, it feels like certain things were kind of shoehorned in there and didn't really explain a whole lot. Those were the parts that I didn't like.
Ironheart.
Yeah, the Ironheart, like things like that. But overall, I thought it was dope. Especially Namor was the best part of that whole thing.
I agree.
In my opinion.
Speaking of Namor, I recently started watching on Disney Plus, and I don't remember this as a kid,
Sure.
but there was a Fantastic Four animated show that came out like in the mid-90s. I don't know where the fuck this aired because I don't remember seeing it ever. There's a Fantastic Four animated show. It's available on Disney Plus, and as I just recently started watching it, it's not that great, to be honest.
Okay.
However, the storylines for every episode have me feeling like this is where the movie's going. Like it's all like you just go through the titles and there's an episode where Namor kidnaps the Invisible Woman, and there's this whole like story arc around that. There's episodes around the Silver Surfer showing up. There's episodes around Galactus showing up. Like this is all the shit that's happening in the movie, and I'm like, yo, I kind of want to watch these and see the comparison between the Fantastic Four movie and how this leads into the what's the Doom movie called?
Avengers Doomsday.
Doomsday. Yeah, I don't know why I was gonna say Doom Dynasty, but that's Kang Dynasty. The Doomsday movie. I think that there's gonna be, you know, we know Tenok's in it, so we know that Namor is gonna have a part in Doomsday. Will that be related to what I see in the animated series with the Fantastic Four and how he takes place in that? I don't know.
Yeah, so Namor and Sue Storm, yeah, they were romantic, I guess, in the comics, and there was I want to say there was another character that Namor was romantically involved with. So yeah, I mean it's all. I don't know. The show you're referencing was from 94 to 96.
Yeah,
it's literally Fantastic Four, the animated series.
Where the fuck did that air?
I don't know.
Because I do not like that. Seems to me like prime X-Men animated series time.
Sure.
Where Fantastic Four was also on TV at that time? I don't know how I missed it.
Apparently, but they weren't on Fox because that was
yeah. And it's again
where I used to watch all
that. Not hype TV. There's a lot of cheesy corniness in it.
Sure.
Especially the Thing. Oh my god, the Thing's character is like I want to slap him every time I see him on screen. I'm like, shut the fuck up, dude. You sound so corny and cheesy. However, he's like, oh, it's clobbering time. You know, I mean, like everything he says is corny.
Yeah,
but
a lot of things back
the storyline is kind of what I want to. Is the only reason I'm watching is like I want to see like, is this a little more Is this gonna
Yeah,
lead
and
me into
it
what's
seems like
happening in the
all of the
Fantastic
things.
Four movie?
It seems like all of the things you're talking about. Yeah, that's. I mean, that's all Fantastic Four. So
Yeah.
we're going to be seeing Galactus. We're going to be seeing all that stuff. I can't wait for that. It looks like Mark Hamill was a voice on this show too.
Of course.
Brian Austin.
One of the best animated shows.
Right.
Wait, who? Brian Austin Green?
Yeah,
Also?
it was Johnny Storm.
Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah, I mean, Mark Hamill crushed it in the 90s.
And he says, I remember that show like how I remember Street Sharks.
Street Sharks. Good call. Good callback, Leo. Good callback, Street Sharks.
No, that was Danny. Let's
Good
see.
callback, Danny.
Yeah, I mean, I personally cannot wait for Fantastic Four. I think that's going to be dope. Will they have? Will Namora and Sue Storm have some sort of romantic? Probably not, because apparently, I mean, she's pregnant in this one, and I think that their child will have a big, a big in possibly either Doomsday or Secret War.
Probably Secret Wars, yeah.
Retro like a retro setting universe, so we may see a grown version of that child by the time Doomsday comes around. So I don't know.
I mean, do you think we eventually do they bring Majors back and make the connection of Kang being
I think he will be back,
the 16x grandchild of Reed Richards?
I think Jonathan Majors is going to come back. I think they're
Kang.
Yes, as Kang. I don't think they're gonna. I don't think
Kang
connect
them to Reed Richards.
I don't think that Kang is fully
they
gone.
Have to connect him to Richard. I mean, that's who he is.
Right.
Yeah, so, I'm down for it. I want to see him come back. I think he deserves his shot, especially after we find out it's all bullshit.
Namor may even side with Doom in the movie to save his people. Yeah, and I can see that too.
I think he's been built up as a nemesis with a heart, but still a nemesis. So yeah, I think he will. I agree with that. I think he'll be on the Doom side.
I can't wait to see what comes from all of that. So
this summer, this is we've been complaining about the lack of content that has been pushed in our way over the recent years, but this year, holy crap!
Yeah,
we've too much content now. I don't have the time to watch all this amazing shit that keeps pushed in our face.
I wanted to talk to you about The Last of Us, but your geeky ass did not.
I haven't even started it. Last night was the first day that I had the first opportunity to start rewatching season 1 of The Last of Us. There's no way I'm going into season 2 without rewatching. I have to rewatch.
Yeah.
To make sure. I know, you don't need to watch season 1 to watch season 2 type shit, but it's a show that feels so deep, and just watching episode 1, I picked up on shit that I was like, oh man, I forgot that happened. Oh, I forgot that they said it this way. I forgot that this did. So yeah, I started season 1 again. I didn't want to try to do it all through a recap because the recaps lately just don't meet. And all I keep hearing is how dope season 2 is thus far, and how dope episode 2 is crazy. And I'm like, man, I got to get through season 1.
Yeah, so season 2, and I'll throw that in there right now. I'm fucking with that. Obviously, season 2. I mean, there are those people who, there are people who are up in arms because of whatever. Like small changes have been made. Like this person went along on the story rather than this other person, and people are nitpicking on that type shit. But it's like it has to make sense for the show. But anyway,
the only thing I've heard is that the show thus far was a little shallow for the Abby character versus the game. But I treat that shit like the book is better than the movie type
Correct.
shit.
Yeah.
Like, sure, the
So
game will always go deeper in many ways.
yeah, because
or drive the storyline.
you're playing the storyline. Like,
Right.
there's a lot more that you could do in, 3 to 4 fucking hours before you get to the next story arc or whatever.
Right.
Which, by the way, it inspired me to play the game again, replay the game. So I'm going through the game. I started
Of course you are.
again because I beat it the first time, with unlimited ammo and all that shit.
Yeah.
So just to kind of get through it, which funny, I started doing it yesterday, and Violet, the second I turn on the PlayStation, the kids hear that chime and come running. She's like, "Oh, what can I play?" I'm like, "No, I want to play for once. I never play the system. You guys are always playing it, and I don't get to play, so I'm gonna play." "Okay, well, can I play with you?" I was like, "Well, no, but you could watch me." "Okay, well, what are you playing?" I was like, "It's a scary game. It's a zombie game." And she's like, "That's okay. I won't be scared." I'm like, "Okay, yeah, like, all right." Yeah, so then I start playing with her watching it, and the first time that I die, instantly I'm thinking she might be like, "Can you turn it?" No, she was like, "That you got to do better because they just ripped your face off." I was like, "Yeah, I know, that was my mistake." So
that's funny.
Yeah. So she watches me play a little bit, but I'm getting through all that shit. It's a fun the show. The second episode, right? First episode was awesome because you even watching it, the background, everything just feels familiar because I played the game.
Mm-hmm.
And that up to me, right? And then as I played the game after I watched the first episode, even though I remembered something that went on in that episode, I remembered it, but I didn't remember how it went in the game. I just assumed, I was like, "Oh, this is awesome. I'm gonna, this is exactly like the game, how I remember it." And then as I played the game, it did exactly what the first season did, where it was like a good addition to, right? Where they referenced this situation in the game, and it picks up from everybody talking about this situation.
Mm-hmm.
But I saw the situation play out in the show.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, and that's the dope thing about The Last of Us. Like, if you play the game, it adds to your experience as the person who plays the game. And yeah, you may nitpick on certain decisions that are made because they just changed certain things to be, a little bit better with the, cinematic wise. But it's just so good. And this second episode, holy shit. Like the shit hit the fan. And it was a very intense episode. And then after watching it, and because Jillian doesn't watch the show, I think I've said that before.
Right.
And she caught this episode because she was just like, "Oh yeah, we finished White Lotus and whatever show we were watching together, we finished one." And then she was like, "Yeah, you could watch that." So she watched it with me, and she kind of knew a little bit of the story because she seen me play the game, and she caught bits and pieces of the first season, and she was watching this, and she was just like, "It's like, holy, like, yo, you watch some intense shit." Like she made that comment, and I was just like, "Yo, this episode was crazy." And I don't want to get too much in, I don't want to get into the details because when you do go to watch that episode 2 was just wild. And then it pissed me off that I go online and IGN gives it a 6 and was like, it was a very lackluster episode and it just didn't. And I was just like, man, fuck IGN. They have the worst reviews of anyone. Don't listen to IGN.
Seriously.
Yeah. Oh, but but we'll choose to listen to this one. But they gave Andor season 2 like a 9 out of 10. So I don't know what that means, but
I don't either.
I'm choosing to think that it's good. It's a good thing. Man. But anyway, yeah. See, so The Last of Us season 2 started off fire. Second episode, crazy. Just a lot of emotions. It was very, very, very dope. What else am I fucking with? I'm still caught up on the John Hamm show, Friends and Neighbors.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I started Black Mirror. I'm probably about 4 episodes into Black Mirror.
Cool. You going in?
Yeah, I mean it's a me show, so whenever I have downtime, I do that. Obviously tomorrow I'm gonna watch Andor. That's gonna be a me show also.
I can't believe that's really coming out tomorrow.
Yes, it is. But anyway, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Obviously, everything else we've mentioned. Studio. I'm going through White Lotus. We just finished season 3. So we're gonna go back to season 1 because we accidentally started season 3. So we're gonna finish that up. Anyway,
He accidentally started season 3. That's funny.
I hit play, and instead of it starting
that's what happened with me with Daredevil.
Yeah. Except I looked it up, and because it's an anthology, like people were saying, you can.
Yeah, technically it doesn't matter what order you watch them in, as long as you watch the whole season together.
Right.
I'll tell you what I'm fucking with. It's a movie, and it's a movie that I had no idea what the fuck was gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we caught this on the recording last week, but at the end of our show last week when we recorded, we were just chatting our post show, and I happened to mention that I was flying to Boston the next day and had no plans, and I needed to go to the theater to watch a movie, and what the fuck is available?
Yeah.
And then I asked you, and I'm just like, what the fuck is this movie, Warfare? And you were like, oh, that's Alex Garland, the guy from Civil War. It's supposed to be good. It's got Joseph Quinn in it, a couple other people that we know, and looked pretty good on the trailers. And I looked at it and I was like, fuck it. Like, it doesn't matter. I need to see something. It was a 10 o'clock showing.
Will
I was
Poulter's
landing. Who? Oh yeah. Will Poulter. That's his name.
Yep.
Yeah. He's another one of the major characters.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Gandolfini. Michael Gandolfini's in it.
Oh, nice.
Didn't recognize him at first, and then it was like, honestly, it was his voice that I heard him in a different scene. I heard his voice, and I was like, oh, wait a minute, that's Gandolfini. And then when I seen him again, I was like, oh yeah, that's definitely him. Now it totally makes sense. But yeah, when I looked into it, it was a convenience of time. The show started. I was landing an hour and a half before. I was like, I can get to my hotel, then go straight to the movie theater. And it was only a 90-minute movie, so I knew I would get home, before midnight, be able to do all my work shit the next day. Fuck it. It's a matter of convenience, something to watch, enjoy. I like going to the theater, and I don't get to go that much anymore. Also, as I have stated many times on Insensitive Culture, and I will make sure all the casual nerds know, I highly prefer watching movies in Dolby Cinema versus anything else. If it's available in your town or city.
We don't have it available here, so I never get to watch it.
It's not yet in Rochester, which sucks. I can't believe that they haven't built an AMC Dolby Cinema. They haven't just taken over one of those fucking theaters that they have at the AMC and turned it into a Dolby yet, because it's so that sound system is so fucking crazy. So anyways, anytime I can in any city that I visit, I prefer to watch Dolby. If I can't, I'll watch whatever. Luckily, this movie was playing in Dolby at 10 o'clock when I was going to, all the things lined up. This has to be the best motherfucking war movie ever created. Like, I gotta think that before this was maybe like, I don't know, Black Hawk Down was probably one of the best. This shit needs to win Golden Globes and Oscars. Like, the impact that this movie continues to have on me a week later is crazy. I felt like I was there. Like, from the beginning of the movie to the end of the movie, there was no time jumps. You didn't skip forward in the story. You didn't retrace back. This is what happened 20 minutes ago or 3 hours ago. There was none of that. It was like being like, it was almost like watching a documentary of the wildest shit that happened when soldiers were in Iraq. That's how this felt. Like it was, I mean, not boring like a documentary.
Sure.
However, there were times that it was boring. There was probably, I want to say, the first 20 minutes of this movie, I looked at the couple that was sitting next to me, which were on a date. And I was honestly thinking, did this girl know what she was getting into when she chose to come to watch this movie? Because this shit is boring. Like,
Sure.
literally, you're watching dudes not say anything for about 3 minutes, just looking at shit, writing things down in the paper, making like small jokes to each other, like whispering to each other. Oh yeah, that's funny, right? Like, just like you're literally watching dudes that know each other, and so they're making like little insights that you have no idea as the audience member to watch, to understand. However, that like based it and grounded the movie even more in like realism, and the way that these actors like interacted with each other was so like tight. I cannot recommend this movie more than I am saying right now. If you like anything about war movies at all, this was probably the best, most accurate film about military ever. It is grounded in a real story. It literally starts off in a like a well, I won't say how it actually starts off, because it starts off like kind of in a joke in a way. But right after that scene, it goes to a black screen where it says what the movie is about, which is in 2006, a Navy SEAL sniper team takes up a sniper position. This movie is based on their memories. And then it goes back to the movie. That's how the movie fucking starts. That's like it says that on the screen, and then it goes right back. And again, if you have been in a combat zone, if you are a former or current military member, one, I would like to know if you're able to watch this movie. I would like to know your opinion on the film and how accurate you think it is. However, I'll go backwards and say, before 1.5, if you're triggered by these types of films, maybe you don't want to watch this.
Sure.
Because this might be a PTSD triggering flick. It is that accurate
I
to real shit.
I believe what you're saying just from watching Civil War, because the action sequences in Civil War were crazy, like documentary style, like,
Yeah.
it made you feel like you were right there. So just that alone, yeah, I believe it, and I have to watch this movie. Hopefully, if I get another chance to go to the theater, I'm hoping to watch Thunderbolts. I have not purchased tickets.
Those are on sale?
We'll watch.
Shit.
Yes.
That movie comes out in like 2 weeks, right?
Like 2 weeks, yeah.
That movie. Yeah.
So I'm debating right now on whether I'm gonna ask Jillian to see if Xander wants to come with me, but if not, I'll just go by myself, because who gives a shit? And the only real reason why I won't bring Xander is because then Violet wants to come, and she's too little, and it just doesn't seem fair. But he loved it. He loved going to watch Captain America, and he loved the entire experience. So I kind of want to continue that with him. But I don't want it to seem unfair for Violet not to go, because she stays home.
Sure.
So it's just that dynamic, with the kids. Even though I take literally every other fucking movie that comes out, like I watch every cartoon movie. So, but anyway, that's probably the next one I'm gonna watch, and hopefully I can make it to a theater to watch Warfare.
If they have it in, I guess the next best would be IMAX.
Yeah, and
if they have it in IMAX, I would fucking absolutely, because some of the impact of it was the sound system, like the bomb blasts, the gunfire. Again, that was where I felt like I was there, because the subs, the way the bass was hitting my chest and body, like, especially again, like when the bombs go off, but on the gunfire, there was one dude that had the heavy gun. I don't know which specific weapon this is, because again, not my thing.
Sure.
But the dude with the heavy gun, when he was bucking that shit off, Jesus, I felt every shot in my chest. Like, you could really feel it, like doom, 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 hitting you. And it was super impactful. Besides, like, what they actually went through, and the storyline of what happened was just devastating.
Yeah, we're down to locally here. I'm down to literally five viewings, and none of them are IMAX. So
yeah, it's unfortunate. Again, not a lot of fanfare around this movie, not a lot of promotion and hype. But for a quote unquote award season type thing, way too early in the year. I still think this movie needs to get its flowers. This movie must get some sort of shit, because, man, this shit was dumb fire. Like,
he can't.
I didn't watch really. I think I might have seen a trailer for this like 3 or 4 months ago. I was like, oh shit, that looks cool. But then when I went to go see it, had no idea what I was getting into. And this, people were walking out of that theater, like, I heard them like saying to each other, like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah.
This is not what I expected for a Tuesday night movie. Like, holy shit, what the fuck was that? And that's exactly how I felt walking out of that movie. Like, holy shit, what the fuck was that? There was a lot going on and not a lot going on, but damn, did it feel so real. It felt it was, and accurate. Like, it felt like there was no movie Hollywood magic shit going on. There was no wildness. This was just a very accurate, very, like, to the timeline accurate as well. Probably one of the closest that I could think is like what was that? Soul Survivor, was that the name of the movie? Or Soul? The one with I think it was Marky Mark, right? Where it was like an Afghanistan sniper
Shooter.
situation. No, you're right. Shooter is not the one I'm thinking of. I think it was like Soul something. Either way, that was probably the closest to this experience that I could think of, but
Okay.
This movie was wild.
All right, I'm gonna have to watch that shit. So whenever it's available, Plex Gods, whenever it's available, throw it on there.
Yeah,
because I gotta watch
and
that.
turn the sound system up, or wear it with or watch it in headphones.
Nice.
You could, that might be actually. I don't. Yeah, unless you have like one of those surround sound systems in your home, I would probably say watch it with like some headphones with like some bass or some shit like that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, I plan on doing that.
Lone Survivor. That's the movie I'm thinking.
Lone Survivor. I remember that.
Yeah. Very, very similar vibe. How like accurate and close to portrayal of real shit that happens. But even Lone Survivor has some Hollywood movie-esque things going on that make it more movie-ish. Time jumps here to there, etc. This shit felt like you were watching straight 90 minutes of people's time and experience in Iraq. And some of the things that they did too, I was like, I didn't even know that we did shit like that. That's crazy.
Right.
That's wild. I didn't know we were doing stuff like that in Iraq. That's some fucked up shit, but also it's war. Whatever.
Yeah. All that tracks. Let's see. Yeah, I don't have anything else. Was that your only?
That's the main thing I fucked with. Anything else that I'm just trying to catch up on everything else.
Yeah, playing catch up.
Yeah.
I don't think
I will be fucking with Andor. I'm pretty sure that will be the case.
100% tomorrow. 3 episodes drop, and is it a 9 p.m. thing?
It's a Disney one, so I think
probably.
Yeah, that's how they do Daredevil. So
yeah, that's shitty if it's 9 p.m.
9 p.m. tomorrow, which means it's really a Wednesday release.
Yeah. Well, we'll have some time tomorrow since we're not recording. But
yeah. No, and luckily for me, Andor is a meat only show, so I'll get right through that.
It's gonna be me too, so I'll be good.
Beautiful.
All right, so I think that's all I have. So, guys, thank you for making it all the way to this point of the episode. If you made it this far, that means you fuck with us, so we fuck with you. Remember to rate, review, subscribe to the podcast wherever it is that we are available and where you're listening to. And remember to follow us on socials. We're still at Insensitive Culture on all socials. Even though we are the Casual Nerds podcast. But remember,
look out for that new merch. New merch coming.
New merch. We have some new merch. Shout out Raul for putting together some dope ass designs. We definitely appreciate you. But yeah, we'll catch you next week. Peace. Remember, if you want to watch us live, tune in generally on Tuesdays on Twitch or YouTube. But lately has been Mondays. But we'll be back to Tuesdays next week.
We'll be back to Tuesdays.
Hopefully. But guys, remember, thank you so much. We love you. Peace.
Peace.